Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm doing an unboxing today, and it's going to be a little different because I'm unboxing kind of simultaneously, obviously see two boxes. I'm going to unbox two items at the same time and compare them because they directly relate to each other. I have felt like less of a man for a long time because I didn't have an actual Rick Hinderer knife in my collection. Well, long story short, I managed to get a brand new Rick Hinderer XM-18 3.5 inch for a fraction of what the actual cost is, but I don't even want to go into that. It's cool. I have that here right now. I also have a Rick Hinderer Gerber collaboration, which I saw online while I was waiting for this to arrive, and I thought it looked really interesting, especially considering my line of work and everything. And then I figured, you know what, I'm just going to wait for them both to arrive and then kind of do a comparison, because I'm pretty sure everybody's familiar with the zero tolerance Rick Hinderers, and then Kershaw has their cryo line. So Gerber doesn't get a lot of press for the Hinderer collaborations that they do, but they have a rescue model, and they have this one that's called the Combat Lifesaver. So like I said, I just want to side by side compare them as I'm opening them, and we'll all take a look and see what we think. I've been EDCing my Benchmade 940 lately. This has stayed in the collection drawer for quite a while, and I just recently started carrying it again, and I'm not sure why, but I'm very excited here, by the way. Alright, let's move all these fluffy puffs. Made in the USA, Rick Hinderer. I've actually never held a real-life Hinderer in my hand, and I'm just super excited. So, gray G10, standard tumble finish on everything else. This is a big day for me, folks. Wow. I'm in love with it already. Completely. I really wanted a slicer grind, but they just didn't have any of those in stock, and I had to choose from what was in stock with this good deal I got. So it's Sponto, and I'm okay with that too. It's not like there's anything wrong with it. I just thought it'd be cool to have a slicer. Oh, man, that is smooth. And I am completely in love with this knife. I've wanted a Hinderer for a really long time. Love this. I wanted an XM24 also. I wanted the 4-inch blade. They didn't have any of those available at all, so I went with the 3.5. And, you know, really what's an extra half an inch here and there? Beautiful. Okay. So I don't think I need to go too much into the Hinderer XM-18 line. I mean, everybody really knows about that knife and what they are. So let's open the other box and start doing a comparison. Gerber. I am not a fan of Gerber knives overall. I'm going to say they're just, I haven't had good experiences with a lot of the Gerber knives, but the Hinderer CLS, Combat Lifesaver, partial serration. And just looking at it right now, nice window punch on the back with your lanyard hole. That's pretty bulky and tough looking. Black G10 handles over steel liners. Has an integrated seatbelt cutter. I think it locks in. I'm not exactly sure how it all works yet, but really big thumb studs. This is designed to be used by rescue or law enforcement military personnel, so if you're wearing some gloves or whatever, so you can always get your hands on it. Not a bad blade at all. The weight comparison, I think this one's slightly heavier, but if you look at the two of them side by side, they're both 3.5-inch blades. They're both the Rick Hinderer sort of Sponto standard. Does it have a Rick Hinderer name on it at all? No, just a patent number. So size-wise, very similar. I mean, very similar, almost identical. Like I said, this one's just a hair heavier than this one. I like having a flipper opening. This obviously is not a flipper opening. This has this little slide lock. Out of the box, it's smooth. Could be a little smoother. I'll probably take it apart and just oil it up a little bit and get it that much smoother. Weird. Very weird. If you look, it's got that lock in there, and you slide the button and it moves the lock. So I wonder if you could, theoretically, if you wanted to, use your finger. I don't know. But why would you? But it's definitely very good locking system there, nice and solid. I'm not sure what it takes to get this this seatbelt cutter out. The little seatbelt cutter, pretty stiff. I don't know if there's a trick or if you have to unlock that as well. And as it turns out, all you got to do is just use a little bit of thumbnail pressure right there, and it comes right out. I like this cutter. This knife pretty similar to the Benchmade 915, 916 line because it's got the built-in seatbelt cutter along with your regular blade. This one is just a little bit smaller and less likely to get accidentally snagged on things than on the Benchmade. And it's pretty rare that I like a Gerber over a Benchmade, but this seatbelt cutter design is pretty good, and I'm sure it's nice and sharp. Just to test it real quick, while we've got some P-cord line around, because there's always P-cord line around. Not bad at all, actually. In fact, I would say that it cuts a little bit smoother and easier than my Benchmade rescue hook does. So that's pretty cool. But I like the design of that. Could be a little looser, a little easier to use, but we already talked about the window punch there on the big bulky steel block in the end with your lanyard. I like the fact that the lanyard hole is not somewhere built into the handle, but completely separate. I've had knives where that lanyard hole is somewhere kind of inset into the handle, and it just, sometimes that if you want that lanyard, it gets in the way. But this way, it doesn't interfere with the clip at all. By the way, clip being a tip-down carry only, and I understand there are some safety reasons for that, and this being a first responder knife, maybe they went with that, but I prefer tip-up, but anyway. But I do really like the fact the lanyard hole is separate out there from the rest of the handle. Going back to this side, this big cutout, a lot of people might not recognize that. So having that right here on your knife is pretty good. Carrying a separate oxygen wrench out in the field, it's pretty bulky and heavy. And it's just, you know, one of those features, whether you know it or not, Rick Hinderer, former firefighter EMT type before he went to knife designing, so he put a lot of thought into this. The design of the handle feels really good in your hand. Not so much a fan of the clip being right there when I'm holding it, because that little part right there tends to kind of dig in a little bit if you hold it too tightly. But this being a knife designed specifically for use while wearing some kind of heavy gloves or whatever, you know, I guess that wouldn't be such a factor then. I really like these oversized thumb studs. They're really easy to get a good handle on. Just going with that oversized thumb stud, just put on a basic pair of some simple military issued gloves, you know, out in the field. And it really does make a big difference. You can really get a good grip, no problem whatsoever. In fact, wearing the gloves makes that little button lock feel a lot better too. But yeah, it's great feel with gloves and everything. So I guess the last big question is, does the blade out of the box with this Gerber compare to the actual Hinderer? Let's give it a quick cut test, just to see. That is actually pretty good for something in this price range. Price for this being just under $50, and so far, from what I can tell, well worth it. Good value for the money right there. The actual Hinderer blade, of course, slices like a razor blade. It's kind of hard to tell, I guess, from just watching. This does cut much smoother and much easier than this blade, but then again, you know, you've got the full-on Hinderer production with the S35 blade versus the 440A. So, I mean, you know, you come to expect that, but still very impressed with the out-of-the-box sharpness of this because going back to my dislike for Gerber knives, I just, in my experience, they haven't been put together particularly well. Fit and finish and you know, overall production value to me seems to be lacking a little bit. And one of those things is the blade sharpness right out of the package, but this doesn't seem to have those problems at all. So, you know, it's early on, but so far I'm a big fan of this blade and this knife. So in the end, I guess, you know, just one more of the kind of value-priced Hinderer options if you can't afford a regular, you know, straight-on Rick Hinderer, or you can't find yourself some really amazing special deal one day. This is another good option. So I don't know if I'd put it in the quality range with the zero tolerances. Of course, I probably wouldn't, but your ZT 550s, 560, 561, I don't really know how it compares to a Kershaw Cryo because I don't have one. It's just basically a little smaller than I like normally. I'm probably going to pick one up in the future, though, just to compare it. So I'm going to carry this around for a while now that I've got my first impressions out there. So as I carry this around and just use it day to day for the next little bit, if I come up with anything good, anything noteworthy, I will make another video on it. But otherwise, just wanted to do a little quick comparison, a little mini review on this knife. comparing it to the XM-18 3.5 inch. I think I'm also going to try to get my hands on the Rescue model in the future, which has a very different blade, and then maybe compare the three of them. Maybe one day in the future I'll get a Cryo, I'll get this guy, I'll get my ZT 561, see if I can borrow a 550 because I don't have one, or maybe that'll be my excuse to get one. This and the Rescue, and we'll put them all through their paces together and see how they all stack up. But all right, guys, that's it. That's all I got for you today. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. I'll be back real soon.